There's music. Oh crap. Okay.
Program and by Also Good Grip, makers of kitchen tools that make everyday living easier. Mealtime.org features hundreds of recipes, nutrition information, meal recommendations, and much more. These recipes and others featuring nutritious canned food can be found at mealtime.org. And by Cuisinart, with the next generation of food processors. From bread dough to pizza to stir fries, we do the work to save you time. Cuisinart, the next generation.
Today I'm going to do a land stew with beans. And a very easy way of doing it. The first thing that I'm doing here, I'm cleaning up a leak to put it in there. And as you can see, it's not a question of taking a leak, and often those cost like $1 a piece, you know, and cutting the whole thing there. No, you cut them so to keep a little bit of the grain there. And then you open it in half, or in 2 or 3 pieces, and you can see that this is where you will have all of the dirt, right there in between the leaves, and so forth. So you wash it now under running water. So here, open it like this to be sure that you go between your leaves. That's it. Okay, so the light green, you know, is the part that you want. And this, frankly, I don't throw it out. I throw that part out. But this usually I freeze it. I wash it, freeze it, and when I do stock, I use that in the stock. I clean up my table, if there is any dirt, and I'm probably going to use about a cup and a half of the leek here, so that should be enough. That stew is going to be done in the pressure cooker, which I have right here, and it's very easy to do it. I'm using shoulder lamb. You can see here, there is that bone, which is the shoulder blade. Those are really nice and tender. And those come directly like that from the supermarket. You can remove a little bit of the fat if you want. Remember that in the lamb, in the mutton or in the lamb, the strong taste is always in the fat. Now I put that directly in the pressure cooker. Beans, just wash those beans here. I have half a pound of beans. White beans, Great Northern beans, pea beans, navy beans, all of those white beans. Any of those is going to work perfectly fine. I'm going to put the leek in there. Okay. 3 cups or 4 cups of water. Actually, that's close to. Yeah, 3 cups of water is enough. 2 cups of tomato. This is regular type of tomato. I'm putting about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You have to put all your stuff in it because by the time you start cooking, you cannot open it and start all over again. Herbe de Provence or Italian seasoning or fresh thyme, bay leaf that you have out of your garden, onion and garlic. That's basically it for the pressure cooker to start. Now the stew like this, the beans certainly are going to take from an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to cook. In the pressure cooker, in 30 minutes, I'll have a perfect stew. My sister-in-law in France, I remember very well when my brother lived in Paris. She used to work in Paris also, and at night she would finish work, she'd take the train at the Gare Saint-Lazare, you know, in Paris, and get home. And I'm going to put a little bit of Worcestershire sauce in it. Worcestershire sauce, that's a hard word to say for me. In any case, she would come out of the train, she would pick up her bread, she would pick up everything, a little roast of veal, anything like that, get home. Before even she take her quota, she put a pressure cooker with a roast of veal, start browning it, closing it, go to take her clothes off, prepare the aperitif, take a shower, and that was it. She was ready within 30 minutes. Now what happened is that here, the pressure cooker, the pressure inside has to go up to, there is those little lines here, those red lines that you have. You have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. It should come to the 3rd line because of the pressure. And it will take about 10-12 minutes to do that. At that point you start timing about 30 minutes and it's fine. And the way it works is that you use those particularly when you're at high elevation. When you work at sea level, usually the pressure is such like 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees centigrade. The pressure cracks the water and it starts boiling. As you go higher, I think it's every 500 feet, you lose 1 degree, I think it is, something like that. So like in Aspen, Colorado, 8,200 feet, it's like 16 degrees, less to boil, to instead of boiling at 212, the water boil at like 195. At some point, you cook certain things where the cellulose in it is so strong that it doesn't cook, and it boils hours and hours and hours. I've boiled black beans, for example, in Aspen and never get them really cooked. So at that point, you need a pressure cooker there because it does the opposite. It applies pressure on top of the liquid. By the time it starts boiling in there, it's over 300 degrees in terms of pressure. So it breaks down the cellulose and the texture in meat and cook very, very fast. That's the principle of the pressure cooker, you know. So we'll lower it by the time it gets to the red mark. And now I'm going to do a lobster salad with a special bonus. What I have here, I have lobster which are cooked. I cover them with water, like 4 cups of water, bring them to a strong boil with the water just from the tap, you know. Bring them to a boil, simmer it gently 5 minutes, take it off the heat, and leave them 30 minutes in that water to continue cooking. This is approximately 2-pound lobster. Now you can break the tail. I already cleaned one here. Bring the 2 claw. Take the center out. And here I have the juice that I have from the other lobster plus the juice that it cooked in. So all of that stuff I'm going to put in. This is the tamale here that I have. This is going to go inside. The body of the lobster has a lot of taste. And this I'm going to cut into pieces like I have it here to make a special soup, to make a piece of lobster with that. The tail, you crack the tail this way and then start breaking out to remove this. Then you continue breaking it, the second joint maybe, and then after it should slide out. Here it is, we have a nice, this is winter lobster, very hard to, and they are very flexible. And now we're going to break this. So you break them at the joint here, break them at the joint here. You see we have 2 screws, the crusher and the pincher. You want to take this and break it gently here and pull out. See, that with this, so you have the whole claw of the lobster without that little piece inside to that piece which is right in the center that you have to remove. And now I have those that I crush. That piece here, that nut which I have here, that particular articulation here, this is the best part of the lobster. According to the great lobster aficionado, and Julia told me also that it was the best part of the lobster, so Julia told me I believe her. Here it is. And there is a little piece still in there that you can break or cut with a knife. If I go doctor with my wife, she's going to put everything there is in those legs, and we're going to cut it in like 3 hours, and then she's going to roll it, and the wood, eventually, it start coming out here, and with that baby, so I do a soup with it. We're going to do a lot of things, really, really good. But I got so part of the body that really where you have a lot of things are going to be in there. And I want to brown that at high temperature, cook it for about 8-10 minutes to really get crystallization of the shell on top, and it gives a lot of taste. And when it's nice and brown, then I will continue putting all of my vegetables in. So for the time being, I'll leave it like this. I have 2 lobster here, about 2-pound lobster, 4-pound of lobster. I should have a good pound of meat, pound and a quarter. When a lobster is really good, it gives you 1 to 4. That is a pound lobster gives you 4 ounces of meat. English sole, the butter sole. 1 pound sole give you about 3 ounces of meat totally clean. A salmon, for example, is about 60%. 10 pound salmon gives you 5 pounds of meat. When you go to calamari or scallop, then you get much more. So here, that's what I do here. And they are not overcooked, they are well planted. If you want to do it like that, you can do this one. You have the black like that. This is the intestinal tract, you know, black like that, and of course we remove that. This is small. Okay, nothing funny on my plate. So I can put back my lobster here. And now do the sauce for it. We're going to do a kind of cream sauce. Depending on if I'm alone. And maybe I'll check my lobster out here. That's what I want. I will keep rolling it. So I keep it on top. And here is the sauce. A very simple but very delicious sauce. I'm trying to duplicate crème fraîche we have in France. You know, the cream that we get off the milk in France, and this is very high. We get in the fat, it's really good. So I use regular heavy cream here. This is about 35% of the fat. Which is really not much. So maybe 15%. I almost double it in proportion, and now it's nice and creamy. I'm going to use the sour cream to 15% of the fat and flesh, but we pick it up. And the taste, so now the taste of the two creams together, probably because the sourness is less, it gives the thickness. In my opinion, quite close to the cream that we have in France. So with that, I'm going to pepper, lemon, bring that to and that's it. And now let's go. Okay, that lobster is now ready to be served. I can't wait. You have to taste it. However, good thing I tested it because I need sauce in it. How would I say? Sauce, a dash of pepper, and I'm going to put a little bit of tarragon. Tarragon in there. And my lobster is jumping all over the place here. You can see the crystallization in the bottom of the pan, and the smell that it is when the shells start browning like that, a very positive smell, and that's what I want. So a little more fennel, tarragon. Spring, I have a lot of tarragon in there, dog. And if you have the right place for it, tarragon, that's the place that you need to come back in when you have to do it. My plant is so lovely. I don't know what it is all. Now, feel is very good. Now, I think I can hear my pressure cooker here. You can hear it sizzling. If there is extra pressure, you can see that. And this one is the syrup thing. This is fine. And that's what I can time it for 20 minutes. Like this. Okay. Tarragon. After that, I oil it with a lot, finish it, and the noise goes. I love this also, lobster lettuce, you know, lobster here. I mean, you want to give a good portion, but it's fancy stuff, huh? For a good sauce. That's going to be great in a dry white wine. I will continue with this. As you can see now, there is no more moisture and it's really browning. So what I want to do is to put the vegetable in it. I have thyme, maybe celery, garlic, onion, a little bit of cayenne, you know. You have to put too much of it. Just a little fish. And the stuff of the lobster. You can say if you want. Wine, because I have to taste it, just in case something happens. I don't want to ruin the dish. I think that's fine. At least a tablespoon, a good tablespoon, maybe a little more. And what I should have put here with my tomato paste, which I forgot, is a little bit of flour on top to give me a little bit of thickening agent in the bisque at the end, you know, about a tablespoon and a half or so. Okay. And that, all the stock from the lobster in there. So remember that basically this is all stuff that you retrieve, and very often people throw out. You're going to cook that for 15-20 minutes, strain it, finish it with a little bit of cream and cognac, and that's one of the most elegant soup or bisque, lobster bisque that we do in French cooking. Come to a boil, about 15 minutes of cooking. With my lamb, it's fully liquid in the center. I'm going to do a little bit of couscous and a cup of water here. A dash of salt, a dash of pepper. I'm putting a little bit of olive oil on top. And a cup and a quarter of that instant couscous goes with it. All you do is to stir it. And that's it. Remember the water should be boiling hot. Then cover it tight and let it by itself. Within 5 minutes or so, this thing will have see that it's the perfect couscous this way. Now the lamb has been cooking, and to depressurize it, read the instruction on your manual because they're different. Sometimes you have a button here too. This one you push there. See, the pressure is coming in that direction. Very often I push something on top like this so that I don't put the steam all over the place or I cannot burn myself. Almost this way. And that's some time, you know, you do it until you hear no more noise. So take a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes for this one. So now, and whoop, ram is beautiful. Ready? So we'll serve that with our couscous. You can see that this in a few minutes, this gets finished. You want a so-called aigrené. We say in France, aigrené, that is to go into the fork like that to separate the grain. This is beautiful. There is a lot of liquid like that, it will absorb it. Now you can serve it on the side also. I have more than enough. You can see that a cup and a quarter of couscous will give me a lot of couscous. Put it around, you do like a crown. Or maybe you have to put any more. Okay. And then my stew, I'm going to go the leg. salad here. Alright. And then I want to do a fast salad with this. It's very simple. I take eggplant like that and cut them in thin slice to about 1/4 inch. And you put them on a cookie sheet with a little bit of oil. Put the oil on the cookie sheet, rub it, press the eggplant in it, turn it upside down. Salt it, of course, and then on a bed of watercress, we're going to arrange this. I always do that salad because Gloria loves that eggplant salad. She loves eggplant, but particularly done this way. It's really a refreshing summer salad. You can cut your eggplant slightly bigger, slightly smaller, and that'd be great. Okay. And then the dressing, I put some garlic, kind of oriental dressing here. A little dash of sugar, a dash of pepper. I put soy sauce here, soy sauce, a little bit of the dark sesame oil. That gives you a very specific taste, and it's cold, you don't put too much. Dash of Tabasco, and a dash of like peanut or canola oil, and oil which is not too strong. You want to mix this, preferably with a spoon. I have a bed of watercress underneath. You can have all the type of lettuce if you don't have watercress on it. There we are. And then we go back to our bisque here. The bisque has been strained, reduced to about 4 cups. It's a very rich, beautiful soup. Finish that up with heavy cream. This is the classic way. In a classic restaurant, you pay a little fortune for a bisque like this. Always a dash of cognac at the end, not none, but a few drops. And we're ready to serve our bisque here. You don't serve too much of it. It's quite rich. Maybe a little dash of chive on top of it. And that's it. You finish for beautiful menu. And that's it. This is a beautiful menu, especially with the lamb. I need one of those rich, Merlot type wines, which is going to be great with it. Whether you cook fast or whether you spend the whole weekend cooking, put a lot of love in your cooking. The food will taste much better. Happy cooking! classic dish that we do is a mixture of pineapple and Kirschwasser, which is cherry brandy, a little bit of brown sugar here, and a nice sherbet, a raspberry sherbet. In the middle of it, a sprig of mint, a cookie, and you have a great dessert. I'm Jacques Pepin, and this is Fast Food My Way.
Production funding for this series has been made possible by the KQED Campaign for the Future Program Venture Fund, comprised of individuals, foundations, and corporations committed to the production and acquisition of quality programs, and by
OXO Good Grips, makers of kitchen tools that make everyday living easier. And by Cuisinart, with the next generation of food processors. From bread dough to pizza to stir fries, we do the work to save you time. Cuisinart, the next generation.
Mealtime.org features hundreds of recipes, nutrition information, meal recommendations, and much more. These recipes and others featuring nutritious canned food can be found at mealtime.org.
When I was a kid, in France, my aunt used to do a dessert which was a kind of mock tiramisu. She used to do it with the little roux, they call it the little roux, which were, any French kid would know that those are kind of butter cookies that we use. So I'm doing a dessert very similar to that, simple, using ladyfinger, more in the style of a tiramisu. Those are both ladyfinger, and some are smaller, some are bigger depending where you buy them, so you can have a couple of packages and use whatever you need. So what we'll do first, I have coffee here. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of rum in my coffee and a little bit of sugar, like a tablespoon or so, just to soften it a little bit. Stir it. This is my syrup. The coffee is really lukewarm. Cool. And then you can pour that on top of it. You want to soak your ladyfinger here. And they do absorb quite a lot. And the next thing, I have some mascarpone cheese here, or the mascarpone cream rather, and the mascarpone, of course, is an Italian very rich cream. You could use something else, but this is quite nice. And I'm mixing that with sour cream, half and half about, then about a good quarter of a cup of sugar, some vanilla, teaspoon and a half of vanilla, and that would be the center of my cake. So just mix it together. It's finished. You can see the ladyfinger is very soft now and there is no more moisture. All of the coffee rum has been absorbed. So this is it. What we're going to do is to line that up inside. But even if it breaks, doesn't make any difference because basically it's going to be covered. And I'll put 3 and then cut those in half. Not very important there. What you want to do is really cover the whole base like this and then put some of your cream on top. About a third of it. And more ladyfinger, same quantity. Finally, you put the last layer on top, and the rest of the sour cream. Use your rubber spatula or another spatula. And then you put the powdered chocolate on top of it here. That's it. So you put a chocolate here, as I'm doing, and it's sweet inside, so that gives it a contrast, you know. I just clean up the edge. Here we are. And that's it. It really takes a few minutes to do, it's quite easy. So what we're going to do is to cover it. Otherwise the chocolate as well as the sweet will pick up taste in refrigerator, you cover it tight, and now it has to be refrigerated. And the second dish, or the first dish of our menu today is going to be trout, smoked trout with a special salad. So when I have my smoked trout here, we're going to start with a salad, and in my salad I'm going to put chopped onion here, a bit of onion, about a third of a cup or so. So I have my onion here, tomato, a cup of diced tomato, a couple of different types of olives, cilantro, putting it the whole leaf like that, it's fine in there. I love cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, put parsley, put a bit of chive, some salt and pepper, and finally eggs. And I have an egg cutter here, and you see you cut your egg this way to make slice, and you can see that that egg is beautifully yellow inside without any green around the yolk, and I was very careful not to let it cook too long, and when it's cooked to refresh it under cold water. That's what takes that green stuff out. So you cut it one side, you twist it, and you cut it the other side. We now have diced eggs, and that's very easy. When I do an egg salad, that's always what I use. It's much easier than cutting it with a knife. And what I have with that, some olive oil. I really don't need any acid in there. I think it's milder just with a good extra virgin olive oil. It's a great salad. Beautiful color. Okay. Second thing that I want to serve with that trout is a mixture of horseradish, and you can use cream cheese or even sour cream. In that case, I'm using a soft cream cheese here. And that mixture of sour cream and cream cheese goes extremely well with smoked fish, as well as like boiled beef, that type of thing that it works well with it. Dash of salt, and of course ground pepper in it. So I use trout here, but sometimes I use white fish. Actually, whatever I can find in the market. Even actually smoked bluefish is very good. Okay. So here is my right mixture here. Now the trout. You can see that those trout, that's what they are at the market. They are with the skin, except they have been bone out, as you can see. Well, if I could, I would have bone a trout which was not bone out, because in order to get the bone out of it here, they cut on each side of the fillet, and this is full of tiny bone, which now have to be removed. If I smoke a trout, as I've done, or buy a trout or a white fish unboned, you take the skin out of it, like I'm going to do here. Now you can see the skin just comes out very easily, from the bone fish. There it is. And at that point, if that trout was whole, I would cut it in half here, right? And I would pull this out of the bone, and all of the bone would stay right in the center. In that case here, I bone out trout, and I have to bone it out. So, as I said, you can see, you can fill it up if you go with your fingers. It's hard to see, but if you go with your fingers, you will see that all around here, there is a line of bone. So either you remove it, with a tweezer, this way, which is really a pain in the neck, or you can cut the whole strip out. And in our case here, we're going to use this. As you can see, the bone has been removed here. And what I would like to do when I do this is to break and try to keep the shape of the trout itself. I'll check it out. If there is no bone in it. At home, when I do that, it's because my wife goes fishing, or my son Jean-Claude goes fishing. They get a lot of trout in spring. I smoke my own trout. But this is, of course, much easier to get that at the market. So, if finish the dish, very simply we're going to put our salad for one portion here. When you want to do what I'm doing here, which is actually doing an edge of a salad. I'm going to do an edge here. Put everything in the middle, not only, and then push it with your spoon to create an edge. What I'm saying is that if you try to create the edge like that, you always mess up the thing. So you put everything in the center and spread it out. And here, you can put a nice piece of lettuce in the center. Now I'm putting my cream in the cream for the cloth and breaking my cloth right in the center of it. Cloth is really good too, with a nice crunchy bread, butter. That's great. So this is a terrific first course. You can take one of those olives, maybe put it in the center for color, and we can serve that with a nice crunchy bread like this. That goes well with it. And now for the main course, we're going to do a mixture of cauliflowers, and I have cauliflowers here, and chicken. You can see that the cauliflower is really hard. There is no brown spot on top of it, and that's what you want to look for. And what we'll do here is to cut that part and the core. When I do a soup, for example, then I would use practically all of that in my soup, especially if I'm going to do like a vegetable soup that I'm going to do a puree with. You can break this into your flour. You see, when your cauliflower is whole, you can shake it by going, and at the end you're pulling out the skin. See, there is a skin, like you have in broccoli, right around the stem. Now that skin here is very tender. On an old one, it's kind of tough and strong in taste. So if you have an old cauliflower, you want to do something elegant, you remove that skin around. I do the same thing with the broccoli. With the broccoli, you have to do it. So we cut that into flourette. I have salted water here, which is boiling. I'm going to put that to cook right in there, not on the stove. This one is still big. And this is going to come back to a boil, and we'll cook about 5, 6, 7 minutes. I like the vegetable cooked. I like them a little bit al dente, that is a little bit firm to the teeth, but not raw, you know. So there, I have another skillet, and I'm going to do the chicken in it. And that chicken here, I have 4 breasts of chicken. So remember, when you remove the skin, particularly, like here, I'm going to remove the skin. You can use a towel for this. It cooks much faster without the skin. Those breasts of chicken are about 4 ounces, maybe 4.5 ounces, yes, and that's fine for one portion. So what we'll do there is putting a couple of tablespoons. Still not hot. So just a little film, actually a little film of water in the bottom, a good tablespoon of butter in the middle of this, and that's going to create a stock for us to poach this in. So we call that cuire à blanc, cooking in white. That is, it doesn't pick up any color. By the time it's finished cooking, that liquid will have basically evaporated. There is a little bit left, we use it in the juice. So here, let me put salt on top of this, on each side, as well as freshly ground pepper here. That's it. And I put that directly to poach. I'm going to lower the heat. I don't want it to boil too fast, but to poach gently, about 4 or 5 minutes for that size. We have to rinse our finger after the chicken. sometimes in can. Actually, the one in jar like this is kind of dark and pretty strong and, well, not very appetizing. So I like to do the fresh one, and I can keep it for a couple of weeks. And it's very easy to do. I have tomato, onion in there. I have 2 cups of tomato, just dice them. And lemon juice, or lime juice in that case. I'm going to filter it right through my finger. The tomato will also render some of the juice. I have cilantro. I can put the cilantro, or maybe I'll cut it in pieces, but you don't want it to be too small. You can even shred it with your, with your hand. So it's really a cinch to do that type of salsa, which in Mexico they call pico de gallo, and then you serve that with a lot of different things. Now, pepper. Now I can see here I have a larger one. Those are jalapenos. The round one, which sometimes come also green, are called bonnet or sometimes habaneros, and they are really, really hot. And the serrano, smaller than this one, is somewhat in between in terms of hotness. So the hotness is a question of how much you tolerate and so forth. Remember that a great deal of the hotness is in the rib and in the seed. So if you remove those, and I always taste it anyway, because sometimes they are very mild and sometimes they are really hot. So if they are really mild, I even add this. And this one is pretty mild, I'm going to add the center of it. So this will cut fine into a little julienne like this, that is little strip. Even the seed, then I put them across and cut them the other side. That's it, all that goes in there. And a little bit of garlic. I have a head of garlic here. Hit it on the side and separate your cloves. Now we'll put maybe 2 cloves of garlic here. And you can see when you have a clove of garlic, the first thing you do, you take the stem of it. You have to take the stem. So you might as well take the stem before you peel it, because if you do it before you peel it, if you crush it a little bit like this, that will release the skin, and that skin is going to fall off very easily. If you don't remove that stem, the flesh doesn't fall out of the skin. So now we're going to crush it. You have to come to the end of your board here, because the finger has to clear up the table. And you crush it. That really is the essential oil. Then you can rock it. Finish. Bit of garlic. I need a dash of salt in there. We check on my chicken. A little more. Maybe I'll turn them on the other side. They need maybe another minute or so. And as you can see, there is almost no liquid left, so they continue steaming in there. Now what I like to put in my salsa is a little bit of ketchup, just to give 1 or 2 tablespoons, to give a bit of thickening agent to the bottom. I have an organic ketchup here. This is great. We're getting better every day. When you see organic at the market, buy it. I do. Okay, and I mix my salsa here, so I have garlic, onion, pico de gallo. You have that with regular tortilla, but then you can do it with the tacos, those are really good. So for our recipe today, if I had that, I keep that in my refrigerator for a couple of weeks. Today I need for that about a good half a cup, maybe a bit more, of the salsa. And to that, I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil in there. This will be the sauce for our chicken. And I will also put checking my chicken. The chicken is chicken and add it directly to my salsa. Okay. And keep that warm on the side. I don't need the stove anymore. Keep that warm here. Now we'll check my cauliflowers. Maybe another minute or so. Well, cauliflowers are cooked now, I'm sure, so we're going to drain them out. What you want to do, you can put them in the sink, or use your lid here just to pour out the water. That's it. And we want to cut them into pieces. And what I do, I cut them directly into the pan like this with a knife. What I'll do first is to put the butter, here a couple of tablespoons of butter in there. This dash of salt, pepper, and chives. Almost forget the chives. You can cut them in larger pieces like this to be a bit different. That's good. Maybe a bit more. I love chives. I love the onion, you know. And then, just with your knife, I cut them across like this. I like that better than in puree, really. Okay. That's about it. And mix it for the butter. I love cauliflower done this way. Okay. We have a nice bowl. All of that will go directly onto the bowl right here. And the chicken will sit right on top of it. So, you see that the chicken here has still a little bit of juice which comes out of the chicken again, so I'll do the same thing. I'll remove that here. And add the juice either on top of this or in my sauce, maybe on top of the cauliflower. Cut that in half. You can see that they are barely cooked inside, which is the way I like them. Here. That's it. Then our salsa on top of it. Maybe a little bit on the outside. I don't make too much of a mess. Well, that's a nice, easy dish to do, which my daughter goes in love. So here we are. The chicken, cauliflowers, a big dish of it, our first course, and of course that tiramisu here that you can see go right through it. It goes very easily because of, you can see the layer there and the top on top, it's holding together the way it should be. This is a fast, easy meal that we made for you today. I hope you're going to do it for your friend. I enjoy making it for you. Happy cooking!
We all enjoy food that it is easy to make, healthy, and tastes good. In this series, we are going to show you how to prepare food that ticks all those boxes. Discover a whole new way of cooking. Bold flavors to surprise any guest. Outstanding, low-fat, and cost-efficient vegan delicacies for you to enjoy. Nutritious and delicious, don't even begin to explain it. One goal, great food, zero compromises. Get your kitchen ready for some magic to happen. Get yourself ready for some serious vegan cooking. Today we'll prepare some crunchy, moist, and decadent vegan brownies.
gluten-free and lip-smacking chocolate banana bites, an opulent rice pudding served with chocolate and spice caramel sauce, our own spin on the all-time favorite banana bread, a healthy twist on the fabulous Italian tiramisu, and some gorgeous strawberry muffins. Have you ever been under the impression that vegan cuisine is boring? Time to think again. Welcome to the Vegan Corner. This was a tough one to develop, but it was all well worth it when we took the first bite. As you can probably imagine, making brownies without butter, eggs, or chocolate is no easy task. But being the thrill seekers we are, that is exactly what we are going to do today. The first thing to do is to preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. And when a recipe starts like this, it means that it's going to be easy, fast, and scrumptious, of course. Now sift all the powders into a medium-sized bowl. This will break all the lumps created during the handling and storage of the flour. Next, add all the other ingredients into the bowl and stir well to complete the batter. And yes, I did just say complete the batter. A brief note on the ingredients. First, feel free to use any sugar you desire, as it really makes no difference here. Second, small coconut flakes are best, but if you do have larger ones, roughly chop them to make them of a more suitable size. Or you could always eat 1/2 of every flake, but that's a whole lot of effort, and it's not overly hygienic, right? Now pour the batter into a cake pan and bake for 20 minutes in the preheated oven, remembering to rotate the pan halfway through the cooking time. You can grease the pan if you desire, as the final brownie will be much easier to remove from the pan. But for the sake of not using any oil, we simply used a silicone pan, which by the way is 8 inches large and 1/2 inch thick. By now you should be speechless and maybe even drooling. But if you are still unconvinced by this recipe, give those delicious brownies a try and all will soon become clear. Now let's move on to the next recipe. Not only can this recipe be prepared in minutes, but it is also guilt-free after you eat an entire box of what we decided to call chewy banana bites. The first thing you want to do is to roughly chop the bananas into a medium-sized bowl. Make sure that they are ripe and have a delicious smell, which is always a good sign when it comes to fruit. Now thoroughly mash the bananas with a fork. Next, add the oats and the cinnamon to the bowl and mix well to combine the ingredients. Finally, add the chocolate buttons and stir one last time to complete the batter for this amazing fruity treat. If you're not a massive fan of chocolate, don't worry, simply substitute it with raisins and the banana bites will come out just as delicious, I promise. Now preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 355 degrees Fahrenheit, and get ready to divide the batter into portions. Simply spoon the batter onto an oven tray, making sure you do so in portions of equal size, or they won't cook evenly. There isn't really a perfect shape for these treats, and if you want my professional opinion, I'd say that the uglier they are, the better they taste. Bake the chewy banana bites for 20 minutes, making sure to rotate the tray halfway through the cooking time. Can this recipe be already finished? Indeed it can. As you already know, we always strive to make dishes that are easy to make and even easier to eat. And in this particular case, we really nailed it. To be honest, I still haven't found a sweet recipe as rewarding as this one. It's gluten-free, it's sugar-free, yet it still yields incredible results every time. That's pretty impressive, right? What we are offering you here is our vegan recipe for a heavenly and delicious banana bread. We really recommend you have a go at this and help us confirm that it is indeed quite special. First and foremost, preheat the oven to 340 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 170 degrees Celsius. Then, roughly chop the bananas, which you already know should be properly ripe, and place them into a bowl. Now thoroughly mash the bananas with a fork to obtain a thick puree. We don't want any solid piece of bananas in here, as they will prevent the bread from rising evenly. Add in the sugar, the non-dairy milk, the cinnamon, and stir well to incorporate them. You can now start adding the flour and mixing it. We like to add it in 3 times to make sure it disperses properly before adding more. Whilst you're adding the second part of the flour, you can also dip in the baking powder. At the end of this process, you want to obtain a homogeneous batter. Banana bread is renowned for being both heavy and dense. Simply Google banana bread and have a look at the images for proof of this. One of the secrets to prevent this from happening is to make it small. A 2 pounds 900 grams banana bread needs roughly 70 minutes of cooking time, and it is way denser than a 1 pound 450 grams banana bread that needs 35 minutes of cooking guys, it doesn't really look like a bread anymore, does it? Anyway, grease a 2 pounds 900 grams loaf pan, pour in the batter and level it with a spatula. You do want to grease the pan, as the alternative is spending hours on end removing the bread from the pan. Now to the topping. Cut a few half an inch, roughly 1 centimeter, slices of banana and then cut them in half. Press the banana pieces lightly into the batter, creating the design you desire. This will allow for the surface to crack during the cooking process, yielding a more appealing, finer bread. Once that's done, you can pop the pan into the oven and start counting the cooking time. You want to cook this beauty for 70 minutes, rotating the pan every 10 minutes to allow for even browning and cooking. A couple of important things to mention are that firstly, you need to remember to pierce the final cake with a toothpick to ensure it is cooked. If it is indeed cooked, the toothpick will come out dry and with no mixture on it. Secondly, 70 minutes of cooking time really is a lot and will likely be enough to burn the surface of the bread. To prevent this from happening, remove the bread from the oven after 40 minutes of cooking time and cover it with aluminum foil. This will shield the heat radiation coming from the hot element of the oven, hence preventing the surface from burning. And after 70 minutes of cooking time, you will end up with an amazing low-fat banana bread. Honestly, could you ask for more from a low-fat vegan recipe? But don't just take my word for it. Try this recipe and you'll see for yourself how good it tastes. This tutorial is for an easy-to-prepare rice pudding served with gingerbread caramel and chocolate sauce. You heard me right. Rice, chocolate and spiced caramel together in vegan form. This is going to be a massive treat. First of all, we are going to start with the easy part, the sauces. Let's begin with the caramel. Place a saucepan over a medium heat, add in the sugar and the water, and bring to a boil. Every now and then, gently shake the pan so that the temperature of the liquid rises uniformly. Once the syrup has reached an amber color, turn off the heat. On the side, mix the yogurt with the milk and the spices, add it into the pan, and start stirring immediately to obtain the caramel. If you are not quick enough, part of the sugar might not dissolve into the liquid. In this case, simply place the caramel back onto a low heat and stir until completely dissolved. Now to the chocolate sauce. On the side, mix all the ingredients together and then pour them into a saucepan. Turn on the heat to medium and start stirring. Stir constantly until the liquid reaches the boiling point and then turn off the heat. And just like that, you have yourself the most amazing and luscious low-fat chocolate sauce. To prevent the skin from forming on top of the sauce, cool it down by submerging the pan into cold water and stir until cold. And now that the easy part is done, let's move on to the super easy part, the actual pudding. Pour the milk into a saucepan, followed by the sugar, the rice, and a few strips of lemon zest. Feel free to use different flavorings if you want. Orange, lime, and vanilla work perfectly. Now turn on the heat on medium and bring the liquid to a gentle simmer. Once the liquid begins to boil, turn the heat down to low and start counting the cooking time. Gently simmer the rice for 30-40 minutes, stirring every now and then. During this time, the liquid will be absorbed and the rice will end up perfectly cooked. Once finished, simply spoon the rice into the desired serving dish and drizzle it with both caramel sauce and chocolate sauce. Make sure to serve this dessert whilst it's still warm, as it tends to thicken when it cools down. And here you have the final dessert, with its intense and complex aroma. As soon as your mouth comes into contact with the combination of chocolate, caramel, and sweet rice, the most amazing flavor will explode into life. Now let's move on to the next sweet treat. This recipe is epic. It's tiramisu. This dessert is so appreciated that we decided to dedicate our heart and soul, or more accurately, our hands and mind, to develop a vegan version of this delicious treat. We are sure you'll be impressed by the final results. The first thing we are going to do is to prepare the sponge to be used as a base for the dessert. So preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Now simply place all the dry ingredients for the sponge into a bowl and whisk them properly. Add in the milk and whisk once again to complete the batter. If for some reason your index finger unintentionally ends up into the batter and then accidentally ends up in your mouth, you will have the pleasure of tasting how good this no-fat vegan batter is. The batter is now ready to be poured into a cake pan, which can be either greased or lined with greaseproof paper, depending on how much time you are planning to spend removing the sponge from the pan. Bake the sponge for 10 minutes in the preheated oven to complete the base for the tiramisu. Before the sponge is removed from the oven, test it with a toothpick. If it's cooked properly, the toothpick will come out dry and without mixture on it. Remember to leave the sponge to cool down completely before cutting it into 1 centimeter cubes, or roughly half an inch. Let's move to the filling now, and we are going to place the sugar, the starch, the turmeric, the oat milk, the coconut milk, and the vanilla extract into a saucepan. Turn on the heat on medium and whisk the ingredients to properly combine them. Now take a spatula and start stirring the mixture. Stir constantly until the mixture comes to the boil and thickens, and at this point you can turn off the heat. To prevent the formation of the skin on top of the filling, you can either keep stirring it every few minutes until it cools down, or submerge the pan into cold water and stir until the mixture becomes cold. As soon as the mixture is cold, you can build the final dessert. Start by placing a layer of diced sponge into your favorite vessel. Then pour some coffee over the sponge. Be generous with the coffee, as it is a fundamental component of the tiramisu flavor. Next, spread a layer of the filling over the sponge. There is no need to be an artist here, but if you have a pastry bag, this task will be particularly easy to accomplish. The final touch is to dust the surface of the dessert with enough cocoa powder to cover it completely, and the tiramisu is ready. And there you have it. I'm pretty sure that you were able to gauge how delicious this dessert is by simply looking at the video. But if that's not enough, it might be time for you to dash to the kitchen and start preparing. You will never again doubt that following a vegan lifestyle is just as easy and tasty as any other. And now, to the next tutorial. Did you think we'd miss the opportunity to offer you a recipe for muffins? Well, if you did, think again, because here it is, with strawberries. The amazingly soft texture and delectable flavor combination makes them one of the most delicious vegan recipes I've ever tried. This recipe is another of the really easy ones, which you could probably make even blindfolded. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius or about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Remove the stems from the strawberries and cut the fruits into small pieces. We are using small strawberries here, so cutting them into quarters will be about right. Now take a large bowl and add in the sugar, the agave nectar, or any other similar vegan liquid sweetener, and the non-dairy milk. Stir well to combine before sifting in all the powdered ingredients and stirring again to complete the batter. You see, what did I say about the difficulty of this recipe? It is basically the perfect recipe for all the people like us who are really good at throwing things in a bowl and stirring them. It's simply amazing. Now, to avoid making a mess, we use a muffin tray lined with cupcake silicone cases. This will help to remove the muffins from the tray and will also make a nicer and more appealing final dessert. Now add 1 tablespoon of the butter in each container and place a few pieces of strawberry over the butter. Sprinkle some cinnamon powder over the fruit, cover with another tablespoon of the butter. Make sure to leave some space between the butter and the edge of the molds. This will allow the muffins to rise freely and evenly. Now simply bake the muffins for 15 minutes, making sure to rotate the tray halfway through the cooking time to allow for even browning and rising. And here you have the final muffins, ready to keep you warm and relaxed during a cold day, possibly together with a nice cup of your favorite infusion. They really do look delicious, don't they? We hope you enjoyed this rather sweet episode of the Vegan Corner. Make sure to watch the rest of the series for more delightful and tantalizing vegan preparations. Thanks for watching.
That would be boss. Sauce. I need a No. No, no.